message me first and we have a dialogue or we work together, but I don't message and I don't email to offer anything to anybody. I want to start with a message that I got from, sorry, let me just go back here on my messages. I usually send them to my other phone just so I can be connected. Okay. So again, we have a series of 5 questions today that will be along the lines of manifestation topics and mindset topics that you can learn from and apply to your own life. So this queen writes to me and then she's saying, I might be a manifester with cords. I want to learn how to cut cords, how to cut these cords for good. I'm starting to worry that what I manifest goes to other people. Some years ago, I wanted to buy a car. My two of my next door neighbors bought a car. I currently want to move to a house. 5 neighbors have moved instead of me. I want to buy land to get bunnies. Today, my husband has shown me that my neighbor has a bunny in their compound. Finally, I want a house of my own, and my brother and my grandmother to buy houses. I want to brush it off as a coincidence, but it seems more like a pattern now. Please help me understand these cords and enjoy my energetic efforts for myself. So I want to talk about this idea of cords because everybody, when whatever they want, manifests to others. We talked about this idea. Yeah, you have this cords with other people, etc., etc. But in her case, I don't think it's cords or just cords. Why am I saying this? Because while you have cords with your brother, with your grandmother, you have cords with let's say your ex, the people you were intimate with, the people you have children with, definitely. You don't have cords with your neighbors. So this fact that your neighbors are now starting to get whatever it is you put in your mind, it seems to me more like there are some people who are just really inclined to shoot up intentions into the formless substance, okay? And we know this is true because many times people of a higher spiritual rank have the ability to bless other people. So let's say you would go to a religious leader, you would go to a monk, you would go to a guru, and that person lives a spiritual lifestyle and has the ability many times to heal, to put goodness on other people, to give blessings, and then your life will go a certain way. What they have the ability of doing via the essence of them that they have worked to develop is they have the ability to shoot an intention way into the formless substance, and it's shooting up sort of like the way a firework would be shooting up, right? So it's like a small rocket. It launches and then it opens and then it pours back down onto whoever's under it. So if your neighbors are now starting to manifest that which you want, it is very likely that you are inclined, is what I'm saying, this can be cultivated in people of high spiritual knowledge and practice, but it can also be a natural thing for certain people. So what's happening here, Sophie, I think is her name, you may have the ability to shoot this up and to spread it around, whatever intention you have, to go to others. And you know, I think many times we see this as a curse instead of as a blessing. And I think only when we embrace this as a blessing can we also be blessed. Like imagine having this ability to give everybody around you a chance to live a lifestyle that you know you want to enjoy, right? Your grandmother and your brother bought houses, your neighbors moved to better places, you know, other people buy the car you wanted and everything. If you have the ability to be a blessing, you can't wish that you're not a blessing on others. So in this case, these people are not, I don't think this is the case where people are stealing your manifestation via cords. I think this is the case where what happens is just, it's the natural, it's who you are, right? And what you need to learn to do is create an environment around you where when you bless others, the blessings come back to you. So develop a group of people, develop a community, develop something where when you bless them, they can bless you back. They can be, think of what structure you can work under to make this happen. You know, maybe blessings for your husband's prosperity, maybe blessings, because once again, when you look at the people who cultivated these abilities, like spiritual gurus and what have you, when you look at their lives,
they live more or less ascetic lifestyles, right? They don't live lifestyles of the multimillionaires. They don't say, oh, I have this ability, so now let's rain down on myself some Mercedeses. It doesn't work that way, right? So instead of refusing this blessing that you have on yourself, see how you can structure it that the people you surround yourself with can be a blessing back to you. That would be my advice. You can't really cut cords with your neighbors because everywhere you go, you're gonna have neighbors, right? So you can't, and I don't want you going into this paranoid perspective where everybody you look at, you have a cord with, and they're stealing something from you. When you can look at everyone I look at and is part of my overall energy system, I'm a blessing to them. I'm a blessing to them, right? And I know my blessings are coming because I'm a blessing to others. What a gift it is that I can be a blessing to others. You know? I mean, I've helped in the last couple of years hundreds, maybe thousands of people. Imagine if I said, oh, but they got better cars than me and better things than me and more vacations. And somebody wrote to me that they got 200 grand after listening to my money video. I didn't get 200 grand in one shot, to tell you the truth, in the last 2 years. But imagine if I thought that. Oh my God, that was supposed to be mine. And look, I gave all this knowledge away and nothing came of it. It doesn't work that way. You either accept that you're a blessing or you just got to forget about this work altogether. Just got to go with the flow. Okay. Let me go to the next one that I thought was interesting to talk about. Okay. So we have a 60-day challenge in my bio that a lot of people, hundreds of people have done it. This person, there's a space there that when you buy it, I say, let me know your top manifestation so I can agree with it. And this person put this following text in there, and I told her I'm going to give her some perspective on it in today's life. So she puts there, the deepest manifestation I keep hidden is to one day feel worthy enough to have more financial freedom through winning the lottery. I have a recurring thought that money should come easy to anyone who knows the secrets of the universe, but by the end of the day, my own belief system convinces me I'm always missing one more piece or that it's done through hard work. So a few things here, right? So my biggest manifestation, just the way the whole thing is worded, I think the way we word something says a lot about some belief that we might not even realize we have. To have enough financial freedom through winning the lottery, right? And I got to tell you that people who believe that the only way financial freedom can come is through the lottery, those people, they don't think that they can deserve financial freedom otherwise. So there is a deep issue here with what you think about yourself. When you say, one day I will feel worthy enough to have more financial freedom through winning the lottery, those things are, you can't, like, you're in a loop here, right? If you feel worthy enough, you will have financial freedom. You can't wait to feel worthy enough to have financial freedom through winning the lottery, because you don't need any good self-image to win the lottery, right? In fact, like, a lot of people win the lottery, which is people that generally play the lottery, and which is people who are not very financially successful, generally, okay? Those people don't need a good self-image to win the lottery, right? So we already know you don't require to feel worthy of winning the lottery to win the lottery. And so what you're saying here, one day you'll feel worthy enough to have more financial freedom through winning the lottery. It's one or the other. You either feel worthy enough to have financial freedom, or you're going to work on attracting a lottery win because you know you can't feel worthy enough of being financially free otherwise. Right? And then you're saying, I have a recurring thought that money should come easy to anyone who knows the secrets of the universe, but by the end of the day, my own belief system convinces me I'm missing one more piece of information. So this belief is incorrect, that money should come easily to anyone who knows the secrets of the universe. It's not money that comes easy. And I want to remind you guys that the universe doesn't understand money the way we understand money, and doesn't understand numbers the way we associate numbers with money. And the universe has nothing to do with money. The universe responds to a vibration, right? Because if you manage to associate your worth with money and your worth with a certain number, if you manage to not associate your worth with a certain number, but associate your worth with a lifestyle, money just follows as a tool to have that lifestyle. So this whole thing here, there's between the first thing about winning the lottery and the second thing that money should come easy because you know the secrets of the universe. If you know the secrets of the universe, what you can manifest is a life of ease. It's not money to come easy. In fact, I have never heard of someone who was able to do that repeatedly. Like, I know people who have tuned into abundant timelines. I know people who have changed their lifestyle from being caged on a 9 to 5 to going and, you know, having their day back to themselves and living in a better lifestyle. I know people like that, but I don't actually know people be like, this week I'm manifesting 10,000, next week I'm manifesting 20,000, because I know the secrets of the universe. So I just snap my finger, do a lottery ticket, and I can do this on repeat. It doesn't work that way, right? And the only reason it doesn't work that way is because the universe doesn't understand that when I say 10,000 as it associates it with money is an amount that would give me X and Y and Z. I want to be very, very clear on this, because if you're saying, I want to feel worthy enough to have financial freedom through winning the lottery and money should come easy to those who know the secrets of the universe, you're on an incorrect path altogether when you're starting this challenge. And what I want you to focus is your goals, your 5 goals at the top of the challenge have to be very defined. If your money goal is, I want to win the lottery, let me tell you something. You probably already won 1,000 times, right? Because when you say, I want to win the lottery, you scan a ticket, it's like a $2 win, you won the lottery, right? If you want to say, I want to have a certain amount in the bank, $1 million, $5 million, $10 million, you better know what that means. You better understand what that money means more so than a number. Because if it's just a number to you, the universe won't understand it. Just very, very clear on this concept. This is why I don't even advise people to focus on specific amounts unless, but it's not even unless. It's like if you need a certain amount to achieve something very specific, then you think of achieving that very specific thing. Like when I said to the universe, I need $50,000 to start my business, like 8-9 years ago, and the universe gave me 52,000. It was because I actually did a calculation and knew exactly what I wanted to achieve. I was very intentional, and I was good at estimating, and that's exactly what I got. But it's not because the universe heard $50,000. I really understood that much later. And I don't want you guys to, I don't want it to take you as long as it took me to understand these concepts. Just focus on what you need to achieve. That's all. What would you do with that money? What you need to achieve. If you're saying, I want to feel worthy enough to live in a 5-bedroom home in the best neighborhood in the city, just stay there. Just stay there. Not, I want to feel worthy enough to win the lottery. You don't have to feel worthy to win the lottery. Most people who win it, again, they don't feel worthy of anything. It's just like a pleasant surprise. And they lose it like a year later, right? I want to make sure we're on the same page. All right. I'm going to go to the next one. If you guys don't have any questions about this. And just give me a second. Okay. So this is a person who wrote me an email. She's part of our group. So she's saying, the universe is pushing back in the beginning when we start to hold our attention on our intention. You said that it is our own ego that doesn't want to die, and that makes sense to me. If you think it could be to the benefit of the group, could you please elaborate on this during today's live? I saw a video from you once where you explained this with energy units. Because the universe wants to exert the least amount of energy, it will exert energy units against our manifestation in the beginning before it gives up finally and gives us what we want. I'm in that phase. I'm doing your challenge and conscious reality creation since November, and I ran into a lot of difficulties with colleagues, dates, my job in general, even friends. It all doesn't seem to fit anymore, and I get a lot of pushback from my outer world. But although I want this phase to end and it feels uncomfortable, I also feel surprisingly safe and convinced within myself that everything will turn out as I wish, and I hold my intention on what I want. I think this is the hardest part, to believe, although there's no evidence in the outer world yet to back it up. But there is evidence in my inner world, surprisingly. And thanks a lot for everything you do. Okay, so I want to make a general statement once again. Many people want to manifest certain things and keep their lives exactly, paradoxically, the exact same way as it is. Right? You want to keep your friends, you just want to add like 100 grand, you just want to add 5 trips, you just want to add a house. It doesn't work that way. So what she's saying, her whole life, her friends, her job, whatever else she said, dating, if you want to do things the same way you're always doing them, if you are going for the same type of people, if you have the same kind of interactions with your friends where you talk about how bad men are, how bad the economy is, the president, all of these things, if that is your life and you want to keep it that way, it's gonna be uncomfortable while you're also doing this work. You might as well not do this work, because becoming the best version of yourself comes with a lot of goodbyes. Okay? It comes with a lot of goodbyes to your friends, to your relationship. The most important goodbye is to the person that you are today. So if you're watching, let's say, my content, it makes sense to you. A lot of people say, I've been watching you for weeks or for months, and then I decide to do this work with you. Okay. You got to be prepared to leave the person that you are today behind. If everything is perfect in your life and you love yourself, there's no point in doing this work, right? There's no point. If you want things to change, things cannot change without things changing. A lot of people have this problem. So a lot of people don't really think this through. They just think their friends will magically stop talking bad about whatever, gossiping. They're going to stop. Their friends are going to change along with them. Their spouse is going to change along with them. Their mother is no longer going to complain, and everybody's health will improve as they are doing this work. And they find that it doesn't work that way, right? When you push through with force, and in the force, so what happens is your intention could be strong. The intention is pulling you forward, and everything else, your current self, identity, and life, and friends, and the more you have, the more it's going to pull you in the opposite direction. So what should you do now? Well, you have to let go or be dragged. Because if your intention is for real, and you're saying you're doing this work in since November, if your intention is for real and you're working on this, what's going to happen is you're being dragged now, right? Because you're not letting go here. You're not letting go. Let go or be dragged. Those are your only options. Or let go of the intention. Let go of the force that's pushing you forward, and just live the current life that you have. Everything is gonna feel uncomfortable. It's going to feel uncomfortable. When you start doing this work, nothing will resonate anymore. That's where most people give up, because nothing resonates anymore from their past life, like she's saying. So when you're doing this work, I would say if you're dating, stop dating. What you're saying here with my dates and everything, just stop dating until your change that you're effectuating in yourself is permanent. Okay, stop dating for 3 months, 4 months, 6 months, and just work on yourself, because it's very likely that if you're dating while you're doing this work, there is a dissonance there, right? With the way you used to operate and what made you feel good. You're going for the same type of guys. All of a sudden, it's not working. They're not feeling good. They're not responding the same way to you as they did in the past. So I want you guys to sort of assess all of these things. Where is it that I can no longer put my attention in order to be able to propel my intention? So if I put my attention on my current life, I'm not going to be able to be propelled forward. That's what I wanted to tell you, Queen. And I don't know if that answers the question. Let me look at it again. But, I wanted to also talk about the energy units. So what happens with your current self, and it's not so much the universe. Remember, the universe is unfolding your reality based on everything's energy, and everything requires energy. Your intention to propel yourself forward requires energy. The printout of your 3D circumstances and events require energy. This is why the more patterns there are in your life, the least amount of energy is expanded, both by you and by whatever system prints this universe. So let's call it the universe or God or whatever you want to call it, the simulation. So it wants to expand the least amount of energy. That's how everything around us works. That's how nature works, right? A blade of grass pushes through the earth with the least amount of energy possible in order to survive. It doesn't go most in March, so it can die by April. It goes slowly, a little bit. So if you push with a different intention and your will, you live from your essence and not from your ego, you live from your will, what's going to happen is the universe will have to render whatever rendition you're giving as an instruction. But at first it will keep creating the same reality because it's not that it wants you to give up, because it's not that kind of intelligence that's pushing against you. It's that it wants to keep things the same, exert the least amount of energy. But in your case here, because you're talking about all these other people in your life, I'm going to say that you're holding on to something specific and you're hoping certain things will not change. But for some people, in order for their intention to come true, everything may have to change. Everything, right? Even like your dating style and the friends and everything, don't expect your friends to become better people because you're doing this work. A lot of your friends might even ghost you. It happened to me. It happened to me along the way. You don't have to do anything. You're just not vibing with them anymore. Let me see if I missed anything. I don't want to make all of my lives monologues. What do you think about crystals such as moldavite? I don't have any crystals. Keep my life as simple as possible. You know what I mean? It's from the mind. It's from my heart. It's from mind, heart, coherence. So remember the three centers, mind, heart, and your speech has to be in alignment. And if you hold that intention, that's all you need. It's not a magical crystal. I don't have a magical journal, a magical affirmation. It's none of that. Don't give your power away to other things outside of you. That would be my advice. Don't mix up in things you don't understand. There's no reason for that. Because there's no reason for that. Like if you're a searcher of, let me see what kind of match, I don't know. But I'm not a searcher of that. I'm a searcher of a good life. I'm a searcher of living every day the way I feel like living every day, right? I'm a searcher of a life that's abundant enough that I don't have the fear for tomorrow. A life where I'm loved and I'm able to offer love to somebody that's worthy of my love. A life where, I'm healthy. A life, like that's what I'm searching for always. Not searching for all sorts of crazy, making things float. I'm not into that. You love my monologues. Searcher of a good life is perfect. Yeah, when everything kind of works out for you. It's so beautiful. I think I have a testimonial that I want to read along those lines, right? So hold on a second. Let me pull it up. Okay. So this queen, she's new to our group. And she says, I just started the work 2 days ago. And this happens to a lot of people who are in my group. We get like free things everywhere. And she puts a picture of her dinner or lunch bill. And it was like a small bill, like $20, whatever. But the restaurant discounted 100% of her bill and said, oh, we just wanted you to have a nice day, out of nowhere. Like they don't know her. It just happened to her. So she's like, this is weird. What's happening? So I said to her, the small wins and sinks are common with us, and they add up to give us the confidence we need to speak our truth and what we really want, not just what we think we deserve based on our current self-image. I actually consider these big wins because they show us how easy life can be. Everyone is chasing money, but the universe just wants to do everything for us for free. So this is what the message is. And then she's replying back, this is so true. I feel like I'm relearning how to live again. Like I've discovered that all of this programming in our world has been an invisible barrier until now. So when you're searching a lottery, when you're searching just a huge financial check blessing to come to you, you're playing by the rules of this world. And you got to understand that, because in this system, the only way you can move forward is if you have large sums of money. If you have large checks. Okay. If you don't get that large check, you're not getting that car. You're not doing anything. But in the small wins that we have, we are shown how the universe just wants to provide for us. And as long as you're chasing money, I want to tell you, you're actually bending to the rules of this game and you have no chance of creating from 5D. Understand money as a tool that just comes when the universe can't deliver it any other way. Hi, Mona, how do we join? Does it matter when? No, it doesn't matter when. No, you don't need to start on the first of the month. The challenge is in my bio, but it's important to join the group for the time you're doing the challenge. Just so you can keep up with everything we do together, all our testimonials. It's give and receive, right? Back to the group, the meditations that we do and everything. And then stay if you want to stay. Most people who are participating and contributing in this group have been with me for over a year. So, and they give me perspective of what happened to them, how different their life was like a year ago. And I just love that, you know, that's really the true measure of success. It's not whether or not I manifested, you know, I don't know, some jewelry or a car. Or Lisa says, I started and missed a day yesterday, so I'm restarting. But just in the week since restarting, so much new opportunities came. I'm so happy to hear that. You've always had this experience. By the way, guys, it's a one-time purchase anyways, and you most people are doing it 6, 7, 8 times because they keep seeing results, right? It's really about disciplining your mind and connecting with a group of like-minded people. I find that that's very beneficial for people to have that. Don't discount the small wins. I tell my group all the time, you have to celebrate every win like it's a big win. You have to celebrate every time the universe, like she got her full restaurant bill discounted. It doesn't matter if a restaurant bill was $23. That's how much she ate. The universe wants to provide. How many of us are provided with lunch everywhere we go? You know what I mean? So it's not the amount, because the universe doesn't understand numbers. If you get mad and you're like, I don't need this $20 lunch, I really want that $50 million jackpot, you might be shutting down the blessings that are coming your way. Are you guys with me on this one? Thank you for sending me these roses. I generally don't need any of this, but somebody told me it's promoting my live, so yes. If it's promoting my live, just send it. Don't send anything expensive though, because I don't cash in any of this stuff. But do put a like and everything just so the live is promoted. I don't know, I think I'm being shadow banned on this system, but I told you guys it doesn't matter to me because I decided to show up and share this work and do these things. So I'm going to continue to do this on the schedule that I'm doing. It's really a matter of I'm doing it or I'm not doing it. This is why it's so important to be like, the universe needs to provide in order for me to do what I want to do. Because if I do this and then I'm like, oh, but is he making enough money to pay the bills? Then I'm in a different vibration and in a different state of mind. So you're either doing it, you have to decide, I'm doing what I love to do and I'm going to contribute, or not. But if you decide to do it, you do it no matter what, in whatever area or field that you decided to do and contribute. And don't worry, your blessings are going to come in other ways, or the how is not up to you. It's not necessarily that if you are given the time to paint paintings and the resources to do so, it's not necessarily you're going to sell 1,000 paintings or your paintings are going to sell for millions of dollars. It's not necessarily that. You will be given the resources to do what you love to do. The world's programming does not want people to discover this. You know what, Libby? I really believe that. I really believe that it's not in the best interest of the system for people to start thinking this way. And none of this, and think about it, none of this is any conspiracy theory, is speaking against the government. None of this has anything to do with anything, right? And still, this information is being more or less suppressed, I think. Your videos never showed up on my FYP until this last week. Yeah, I just think like I'm being shadow banned. I don't know what that is, but I don't want to keep my mind there because it doesn't, like I said, I'm either going to do it or not going to do it. That's the only decision I have to make. The rest is decided by the powers to be. I can't fight the forces of this world, right? I want to read one more. This is a longer testimonial. This is the last one that I'm going to read. And then we can talk about whatever you guys want to talk about. But I'm going to stop through this and just give you my perspective of of what I think on each thing. Carl says it might be divine protection from something. You know what? I thought about that too. You know, you gotta move in silence. I really think like, that's why I don't advertise, I don't email, I don't promote. I sort of think that the people who are meant to be here are gonna be here. And the people meant to hear this are gonna hear it. And it's not for the whole world. Imagine if the whole world started to think like that and be like, hold on a second with this 9 and 5 and like my factory job and my bad relationship. Like, the whole world will be up in flames, right? Like, anyway. So this queen says, I would have given a testimony sooner, as many things have happened since I started this challenge, but today I restarted the 6-day challenge as I felt I entered a paradigm shift. And this time I'm doing the challenge in the language I speak day to day. I'm fluent in 3 languages, so I felt like doing the challenge in English would be no problem, until I did a breakthrough meditation where I was prompted to restart in a different language. So I told you guys this before. I told you that you should do this challenge in the language of your subconscious, and that's the language you dream in. But in her case, she probably dreams in all 3 languages, but she's saying she was prompted to do it in her maternal tongue. I understood that English was connected with a high achieving persona I had built. And it is an academic language I've used for literature and work. I then came to an understanding of my relationship to performing and high achievement. So this is also an interesting observation. The fact that English, if it's not your first language, could be the language of a constructed persona and not the language of your essence. And this could be even if you're born in America or born in Canada or born in a country where they speak English primarily, but your parents were not primarily speaking English when you were born. And so your essence alongside your mother, let's say, has built a certain way, but your English persona was a persona that was operating only outside the home. So that will be the case for a lot of people. So pay attention to this in your own programming. She continues, I've heard you say in your YouTube live that this work will change you in ways you've never expected. And even when I heard it, I could not explain how I keep being surprised. Restarting the challenge feels like it is the biggest achievement so far, as it proves I've changed. But here are some other ones. And then she details them. So she says, in love, I continue seeing this person, and then she's saying, but I noticed a flaw in my manifestation. I didn't focus on wanting a prioritizer. I deluded myself into thinking I didn't need it until I started speaking the truth in my life, and his behavior became hurtful. And so he was not the texting communicator that I wanted. He's present and he's incredible when you are together, follows up, pays, plans dates, but he doesn't communicate in between dates and in between those moments. So I told you guys, I want you guys to be extremely honest when it comes to what you want in your love life. Like extremely honest, because I gave you the standard protector, provider, prioritizer, which I think fits most women. And I don't believe you can be happy if you don't have all 3. Again, it doesn't fit 100% of the women, but I think, in my opinion, it fits the majority of women that I know or that I spoke with along when I'm doing this work. So when you're saying he wasn't a prioritizer, of course, when I think about it, and I think of, okay, so you're with this guy, he plans dates, and he's enjoying your presence when you meet with him for these dates. Paying for it is irrelevant, right? Because whatever, he has the money to pay for it. So really, the way that would feel to someone's essence, like to my essence, is you're paying for my presence and my company, but you have no interest in me in between. So what she's saying, that's the prioritizer. And you're right, this feels like shit if you think about it. Right? So don't lie to yourself. Don't be like, this is a great man I found. He's such a provider. He sends me $3,000. It has to be all 3. I can't stress this enough. It has to be like, he has to care about the person that you are, or it's not going to last. He's just really busy. You're just really beautiful. He takes you out once a week and he enjoys you. Of course, that's going to leave you feel empty. Okay. Then she continues, I deserve a man who would prioritize me, even if the entire stock market was hitting an all-time crisis. Oh my God, finance guys are like notorious for this. So during this, I focused on the outcome that I want and not him. I told you guys this all the time. You focus on the outcome you want, not him. This has been a major work in rewiring my mind from wanting to cave because I realize he's a childhood manifestation of mine, but I've stood firm. It has not been easy, but I'm doing it for myself. And you know what? In doing this for yourself, it might be him that comes back changed. But I think we should always communicate once, like don't expect a guy to read your mind. Just say, look, this isn't going to work for me. I can't just be there with you during the dates. And then if he says, well, I'm too busy to check up, okay, no problem. No problem. Don't be like, but these are my needs, but these are you should communicate and be truthful, but irrespective of the outcome, irrespective on how he reacts on it. You understand what I mean? Okay, then she's saying work. In the beginning, I came into a phase where work didn't feel like work. It was so easy. And then I started focusing more on my end goal. My work tasks instantly became different. I got more creative, more responsible, and even though I was putting more work in, I wasn't feeling tired. It has started to become fulfilling. I'm gaining more recognition from my coworkers and clients. So I think here you're on the right track. If you put in your mind, I want ready for next step in my career, and you find changes within yourself, like changes in your creativity, in the way you handle responsibility, you're on the right track. This is very, very clear. Then you're saying money. I got an unexpected tax refund of, I guess this is a significant amount. But before that, I noticed how my financial situation improved. Perfect. No complaints there. Any win is a win. Remember to celebrate all your wins as big wins. All this kind of wins. You didn't expect this money and now you have it. It doesn't matter if you got a $20 check. It doesn't really matter. It's just things that I'm ready for more. And keep the intention on the lifestyle. That's my biggest tip. The lifestyle you want to have with this money, but not where the money comes from. Body. This was the easiest. I'm losing weight and toning without doing anything. Your video on the body clicked for me. I'm instructing my body in front of a mirror about how I want it looking, and each day is getting closer to that. Guys, I told you, all the tools are in my account. This is why I'm not going to do too many new videos, maybe one a week if something comes to me. But I just feel like I've given people so many tips on how to live life, how to think about their body, their love life, their work, their health, to do the challenge, to keep doing the challenge, keep their mind in the work, to connect with a group of people and to want to give back. And all of these tips are there. But everybody just comes and doesn't want to watch anything. Just give me the abracadabra, Mona, and I don't have the abracadabra. It's all there. It's all in the practice of it. I told you that thing with the mirror, that's how I did it also. And I said, I want to, in my body, I want to see the definition of my muscles. I want to do this. I want to do this. And lo and behold, results speak for themselves. Mari says, you really have. I just got into the group now, but prior, I was already implementing the stuff you said. Yeah, and you have to implement it for a while. You can't implement it for 5 minutes or 3 times and be like, I tried this. It didn't work. It doesn't work like that. I told you the way to measure your growth, and if you're in the right track, is inside. You have to feel differently about the things that you felt differently before. So your reactions, I can't stress this enough, your reactions and your patterns have to be different. If they're not different, you haven't changed. You can do 1,000 rituals. If your reaction in day-to-day, you catch yourself in the same patterns and the same reactions, you're dating the same guy in different bodies, you have the same kind of conclusion to friendships, to relationships, you're missing something. You forget the crystals and the rituals and all that. You're missing something. I never realized how much time I needed to do to inner work. It's relearning how to live 100%. It's relearning how to live 100%, because most people live from 3D, from reaction. They wake up, they're like, how am I going to feel today? I don't know. Well, I haven't gone to work yet to see what's waiting for me. My boss, what mood he's in. I don't know. If my husband is nice to me when he comes home, I'm going to have a great evening. If not, I guess I'm not going to have a good evening. They're waiting. They're waiting to see what will happen in the world. And of course, what happens in the world is what they put in out there yesterday or the day before, and just returning to them. And it's just a constant pattern. Patterns in life means the more patterns you observe, the more you're operating from your program and not from your essence. You're far from getting what you want because your essence is not prevalent. right? Watch for your patterns, watch for your reactions. The patterns are everywhere, mostly in how you feel towards certain events that unfold. How you feel has to change also. And then let me finish here with this testimonial. And then she says, lifestyle. I completely redid my wardrobe, like you said. I threw out half my closet. My clothing style has changed. I had a friend I was avoiding seeing because I felt she would bring me back to old habits. Only when I met her, it was the best day ever. I saw her in different light, and she never pried or asked intrusive questions. That's when it clicked once more that my thoughts formed reality. When I changed, she suddenly changed too. Maybe she had seen this wonderful, she had been this wonderful all along, but it took me changing to see it. So I think with friends and things like this, it's all about their energy system. It's not that necessarily when you change, they change. Maybe when you change, they ghost you. Maybe when you change, they turn on you. But maybe when you change, they change too. But you don't have control of the outcome. This is why I always tell you, be okay with any outcome that happens in another person when you change. You might be very pleasantly surprised along the way with somebody that you think you're going to lose, but they turn out wonderful. But also do not feel sorry that somebody just ghosts you and you don't know why. So that's neither here nor there. You don't control that outcome. I'm glad your outcome was positive though. But why I want to talk about the wardrobe, I'm constantly giving things away and I'm constantly buying things also. But the difference is right now what I buy is only what I love because I don't really need anything. So I really have to love a piece to buy it. Otherwise I don't buy it. I have all the necessities. I have all the sweatpants. I have all the pajamas. I have all the jeans. So if I buy a piece, I have to love it. I've given away, I think like in the last 10 years, 2 closets. Because first of all, I had to give away all the clothes. I don't have any clothes from when I started this work. Not one piece. And I've given away some really beautiful things and things that I spent a lot of money on. Because every time I put it on, it reminded me of her, of that person. First of all, I gave away all the clothes I used to wear at the office because I ended my corporate career in 2015. And I was like, I never want to have it again. So I have to part with all these beautiful suits and some of them are custom made and stuff. I was like, I'm never going to wear this again. I'm just not interested in this. I can't set the intention that I might need it for later. Then I gave away all the dresses and everything that I remember. Like I had a gorgeous dress I wore in my 5th wedding anniversary with my first husband. And I just, the dresses, the things that hold you into a memory or remind you of something that happened. Even if it was positive at the time, even if it was beautiful at the time, it's also not me anymore. Like I can't wear that anymore. Somebody says I'm going to give away all my scrubs. So yeah, you have to go through your wardrobe. I told you, clothes have energy. They have the same kind of energy as when you listen to a song that puts you in a state of mind when you broke up with somebody. Except the song, you don't know when you're going to listen to it when it comes on the radio, but your wardrobe is always there with you, touching you, if you put it on. So please just give them away. Give them away. Yeah, and Valerie, when you say, I miss those dresses, now I realize I miss that version of me. When you say you miss that version of you, understand that version of you is not coming back. So the more you stay into this regret that you're never going to be her anymore, maybe you're thinking of something good, I'm assuming now, the more you're not creating a better version of you in the future. So give away everything that's no longer you. I understand it was a good version. I was never a bad version of me, to tell you the truth. It's just that sometimes you gotta let it go. I used to have a team throughout Canada in 3 provinces, and I did really good. I traveled for work and I did all these things relatively very young. And I was so proud of that version of me, of how far she had come by the age of 30. I was managing and everything. I just don't want to be that. You know what I mean? I hold achievements in a totally different standards now. What achievement means to me now, it's something completely different. And I don't see myself, even in that business class, in my suit, I get like a ick when I think about it. Talking about things that don't make any difference for my life, company things that tomorrow they're not going to mean anything, or not tomorrow, but 3 months from now. And it's just like, no. Okay, and finally, this queen says something about a dream, and I think like I want to talk about dreams in general. She's saying, I dream every night and always have. It was difficult to determine before if I should do the challenge in English or her own language, as I dream in emotions, feelings, not language. My dreams have always they're always filled with meaning, and it's easy for me to interpret them. The breakthrough dream I had was, let me see. So basically, I don't want to give too much detail as to where she's at, but in the dream, she's trying to get into this club in the dream, and the doorman keeps refusing her and her friends. And she's saying, I keep asking them, when could we get in? And they refuse each time. And in real life, this is a famous place too in the country that she's in. And then she's saying, in my dream, a group of people walk past. They have this radiant, warm energy around them. And without a word, the doorman just let them in. I complain and I say, what about them? They just got in. How did they get in when it's fully booked? And the doorman said they didn't ask. In her dream. Imagine that, in her dream. And it dawned on me that they hadn't. And so I just walked in also without asking, and no one stopped me in her dream, right? So it's interesting how our subconscious sometimes is so literal, right? It's completely literal. It's just like in her dream, the subconscious is telling her how to get in to the next step, to anywhere she wants. You just can be like, oh, can I get in? Can you let me in? Am I qualified to get in? You just get in. I know that it just sounds so basic, but we don't do that in real life. In real life, we don't even ask for anything. I would say, and women have this problem. We don't ask, like, we come to this work and I'm like, I'm going to ask the universe. You don't even feel like asking the universe for too much. You don't even, or if you ask for too much, it might be just something that you think it's random. Like, oh, I'm asking for $50 million because I bought a lottery ticket, but you're not asking thinking that you're worthy. You're asking, but in your real life, you don't dare ask anyone for anything. Who in this life has this problem? You don't actually ask for help. You don't ask anybody, hey, I need you to do this thing for me and to do this thing for me. Do you call people up? Do you call your friends? Do you call the man in your life? Do you call the guy that you just went on 2 dates with and say, hey, listen, I need my car oil change? Like, does anybody do this? Does anybody actually ask for help? No, we don't ask for help. We're like, if I have a problem, it's up to me to resolve. But then when you want the big things, you go to the universe. No, because the way you behave in 3D is very important. It's an instruction on who you are. So you have to ask for help. Look, I can never ask for help, says little lady. No. Yasmina says, I am getting better each day, but she doesn't ask for help either. Like, why do you think I'm just on low power mode. Why do you think the universe would be like, yeah, let me help her, when the universe is confused because you just took over doing everything yourself in 3D? Wardrobe detox challenge, yeah. Yeah, Lisa says, I never asked for help because I didn't even feel worthy. Yeah, you didn't even feel like somebody would do anything for you. Why should they? Unless they're getting something out of you. And if you feel worthless, you're like, I have nothing to give them. We really have to review how we behave in 3D. And especially when things are not manifesting or they're not working out for us. We're like, but do I really, I ask for money, but am I really giving? Am I contributing? I ask the universe for help, but in real life, do I just do everything by myself and I give a different instruction? We don't understand that everything we do and everything we say is an instruction. That's the problem. The instruction doesn't only come when you write out, I am a winner and I am a jackpot winner and I am loved. Meg says, I just started asking for help and it's very beneficial. It is very beneficial. Not just the help itself is beneficial. It's beneficial for you to start learning to ask for help. Especially as a woman, you'll fall way more in your feminine. And ask for help even with things that you don't need help with. That's the beauty of it. Don't just wait until you have a huge problem and then ask for help. And learn to delegate, yeah. Yeah. Many of us don't even ask our kids to help with the dishes or help with, I have this problem too. But everything else, I do ask for help. I'm gonna say, especially when you're a woman, if every day you feel like you have to do things, no matter how you feel, that's not you being in your feminine. So, I used to push through days when I wasn't, like, I only have pain around my period. So when I had my period, I'd be like, I have to do these same exact things, and just have to endure it, and I have to, and then I was like, you know what? Now it's like my time to take care of me. Now I'm gonna just lie in bed, read a book, have a hot pillow next to me, take an Advil, meditate. It's not the time for me to do the same thing I do in the other 25 days of the month. But that's the instruction we put out there. We put out there, like, no, we got to do everything no matter what, and that's not listening to our bodies. That's not listening to anything in us, the instinct in us, right? And you gotta remember that all of your emotions, speaking about the body, all of your emotions will eventually express themselves to your body. You got to be very careful with how much you do and how resentful you are for doing it, especially if you have a family. A lot of women also have that problem. They do too much. Guys, please don't call me. I don't take calls during my live. See, Lisa says, I think it's just pushing myself to be strong. Societal programming, yeah. They want to squeeze as much as possible out of us. Yeah, you should ask for help. You should ask for help, especially as a woman. You should ask for help as a man too, but especially as a woman, you should ask for help. And I really think we have to protect ourselves during that time of the month. It's not our time to do the same routine as every single other day. Can you please explain a bit more about asking for help? Don't go to your maximum capacity every single day. You're not meant to do that. And an easy way to not go to your maximum capacity is to start working on yourself, on your inner work, right? If you dedicate 1 hour to yourself, at least 1 hour to yourself, and I'm talking about physically, I'm talking about mentally, spiritually, you can do whatever it is encompassed in that. You can spend 20 minutes praying. You can spend 20 minutes journaling. You can spend 40 minutes working out. It has to be minimum, a full hour, unbothered by anyone, in your own time, without music, without podcasts, without anything. Like, you doing you, taking care of your skincare routine. But I think like 1 hour is too little. I would say I spend 1 hour on my mind and then another hour on my body. Minimum per day. And then, so when you start doing these things, you gotta notice you can't do everything else yourself. Now you need to start asking for help of those around you. Is that what you meant? Because right now you're probably doing everything. Like, I know the schedule of people. Like, I have one of my close friends. I said, listen, you need to, she's asking me for advice. And I said, you need to, how much time you spend with, oh no, if I lay down, I would think like I'm missing something that the kids are doing. I'm missing what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm missing some emails. You feel FOMO almost about your tasks. Nicole says, I mean financially, definitely. If you're asking for financials from the universe, you can't be paying for everything for yourself in your day-to-day life. Just be more specific, Nicole. I want to answer your question as plainly as possible. You cannot be in a relationship and go 50-50. Okay? You guys know this, right? There's enough materials on this. It doesn't matter how much money he's making, though. Like, you have to be prepared to live within his means. But financially, you definitely shouldn't feel the burden of doing it alone. So let's say you don't have a spouse, you don't have, there's many ways in which you can get financial help in this world. Many other ways. Is it normal to ask for financial support? Of course it is normal. Otherwise, you're just doing life by yourself in 3D. It's a very lonely road. It's very difficult. That's why most women who've done it, the pressure that has accumulated needs years to be undone. Huh? Any career women here? Or just me? Unwinding from that pressure, from the financial pressure is, and I'm not talking financial pressure of not being able to pay the rent. I'm talking about producing. When you're producing, winding down from that, it's incredibly hard on the system, on the psyche. Yeah, of course, you're gonna be exhausted. You're gonna be exhausted. And listen, a woman who produces will be used, really used by everyone around her. I'm gonna be very honest with you. Like, it almost feels like the leeching that happens on a woman that's producing. It's incredible. I feel like if we ask for financials when we're telling the universe we don't have enough. No, that's an incorrect way to look at it. When you're asking for financial help, you are defining the value that you bring to the table. And the fact that that needs to be compensated in some ways, right? If all you have to do is sell 12 hours a day to your first job and second job to survive, then you bring no value except in the work that you do. I have always done it alone, and I have a very hard time sitting still or taking time for myself. Yeah, that's where you need to start. That's where you need to start, right? Sitting on your own. I gotta tell you, one of my friends, she has 4 children, and she's had this nanny in Canada. It's very common to have a Filipino nanny from the Philippines. You sponsor them and they come here. And she got this nanny when her son is now 15, and her son was like, let's say 2. She's been with the family for a long time. She was 27 when she started, and her idea was she's gonna do this job for 2 years, and then she's gonna go back to the Philippines, get married, or get her papers, something along the lines. I'm telling you guys, it's been 13 years of this woman supporting her family, brothers, sister, parents. She went back home about 5 years ago. She was like in her mid-30s at this point. Nobody wanted her back. Nobody. Okay, they didn't have a husband for her. Everybody wanted her to go back to Canada and keep on working. And this is the point I want to make about women who are producing at any level. Okay? At any level. The women who are producing will just be used. They'll be used by the system for their work. They'll be used by their employer, obviously, because that's why the employer is paying them. But they'll be used by a lot of people in their lives. And all they're going to do is survive. And there's no such thing as 2 years, doing it for 2 years, doing it for 5 years. There's no such thing. They're gonna do it forever. Forever. Look at this. Yasmina, period. Been supporting my family back home since I was 18. I guess if you're making millions and you're supporting them, it's very different. Right? In the case of this woman, it's basically her whole life. Her whole life. When my friend no longer needs her, she'll need to find another family to be a nanny for another 10, 20. And then when she's 55, she doesn't have anyone. She'll go back to the Philippines with nothing because she spent all her money. Question: what happens if every woman works minimally for her own good? Others will get the burden. I don't think you're at the point where you're thinking you can think about others. If you don't treat yourself with love, you can't think about others. You see, this is the guilt trip they put on us, the guilt and shame. Oh, if I don't do my part, other people will have to do it. It's just focus on becoming the best version of yourself, and you will bring the best of yourself to the others around you. If I focus on cleaning the floors of my house and the showers and scrubbing and being finished at the end of the day, would I be able to read, accumulate knowledge, and share the knowledge and help people with what I'm talented in helping? Or should I really ask, before I didn't have to, so I just want to clarify that before I had this cleaning service all along, but should I ask my husband that we keep this cleaning service even though, let's say, I no longer have the office now, and so I can do this thing? Or should I do it because whatever you're saying, I don't know what the heck you're saying here, but this is what it sounds. If I focus on me and I develop me, I bring a better version of me. Of course, I could do more of the things that don't matter, or they can fall on others, or others can work harder so we can pay for it. But if I focus on me, I bring the best of me. I don't bring menial tasks that can be executed by other people. I don't know if that makes sense to everybody. Select two objects that are the same shape, this and this. Okay, I think that's all I had for today. I hope I answered your questions. Focus more on you. Don't think about who else will carry the burden. They're not thinking that you're carrying the burden. You need to release yourself of the burden. Let's put our hands together for the 369 I am a winner. And I'll see you, my group, I'll see you on Saturday for the group coaching on Facebook. And everybody else, I'll see you next Monday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. One breath in. I am a winner. 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 I am a winner.